Warning, this show does not condone the following: clone empires, or throwing puppies out of window. Thank you.
And welcome to What Will You Do, where we ask ridiculous questions and expect ridiculous responses. I'm Conor.
I'm Ben.
And I'm Alec.
The crazy
I'm
one.
the live video audience.
Okay, and today we ask the question, what would you do in a Groundhog Day?
Your little hand in mine. There ain't no hill or mountain we can't climb.
Now, I'm assuming everyone here knows the plot of the film, Groundhog Day, or at least Happy Death Day, or Live, Die, Repeat, otherwise known as Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, I've seen Edge of Tomorrow and also Supernatural, so this happens in a lot of shows and movies and things.
I only saw Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow is really good.
Groundhog Day is the best one of them.
So is there any like deviances in plot since
Okay, well, basically, the plot of Groundhog Day is this disgruntled news reporter has to go to this place every year to celebrate Groundhog Day, where this groundhog will come out and see if they saw a shadow, then there would be 6 months more of winter, or if they didn't, there wouldn't be, or the other one, I don't know, it's American culture.
Weird.
And because he's just the worst person, Bill Murray is just mean to everyone. So when he goes to sleep at the end of that night, because he can't escape because the town has been snowed in, and when he wakes up the next morning, it's the same day, with the same music starting it up, and eventually after the next couple of days he realizes that the day is repeating, and that he may be a god. He doesn't know that.
It took him a couple days to realize that?
Like,
Jesus
the day
Christ.
3 or 4.
How dumb can you be?
It's Bill Murray.
And he's a realistic news reporter who's just mean to everyone. He's a bit of a Scrooge, which he does play in another film as a TV reporter. Yeah, it's called Scrooged.
Yeah, well, I think I get the idea, so...
So, let's say, I'm assuming we'll say, like, maybe today is your Groundhog Day. Today will repeat.
Well, that's
Over
boring.
and well, would that
There's
be?
not really much has happened today, so...
Yeah, but you could change things. You have memories from every single day. You could kill yourself and wake up at the end. You could wake up at the start of the day again. You can't escape.
Well, I'll have to go summon the trickster, who's behind all of this.
See,
I'm making supernatural references here for the audience that actually knows. They'll...
I shall light a New Year's Eve sparkler and just swallow it.
well, I mean, you could, and then presumably die, and then wake up in your bed again with the same song playing over and over and over again.
Wait, my life has like an original soundtrack?
No, I'm assuming you have an alarm clock.
No, my mum wakes me up.
I wake
Okay,
myself
so
up.
every day, so as soon as you die, you slowly get waken up by your mum.
This sounds upsetting.
I have an alarm clock. I have my phone set to an alarm clock, so I should be fine.
See, I don't wake up to alarms, and I can only really wake up myself if there's like a blinding light, like if I forget to close my blinds or something.
I only wake up to music. If I hear an alarm, that was one point, like the traditional I had that in my dream. I was like, stop yelling at me, duck.
Okay,
Why?
First of all, just to be on the more cautious side, I would probably wait maybe 3 days before I did anything crazy.
Yeah, same.
So if any of these days, you don't want to die.
Consequences are bad.
Wake up in heaven or hell, going. One of them sit in either whichever one you meet is just like, why? It wasn't even past day 1. What was that about?
I'm looking for some old books and things to learn how to summon the trickster that behind this.
I assumed it would be like a self lesson, like, okay, I was bad to a person on this day, or something. I'll try and work out, I'll be nice to everyone today. But after I watch every single movie ever made.
It would get to a point where you just wouldn't care.
It would.
Because you'd be like, it doesn't matter what I do because I'm just going to be completely forgiven the next day.
What would you? Yeah, but what would you
Well,
rather?
no, one thing that you retain, and I think this is important, the one thing you retain out of everything you have is your knowledge.
Your memories. You have them.
And memories is what you retain. You remember everything.
Yeah.
Everything that you learn in that day, every torturous death that you suffer.
There's a
create
bit in that
manners.
film, and it's like, to you it's been like the 4th day, but like, he takes the female protagonist, her, and they're sitting there, they're chucking cards into a hat, and she goes, like, to Bill Murray, going, wow, you're really good at this. Yeah, it takes about 6 months and 2 to 3 hours a day. So at that point, by the 4th time you see him, it's been 6 months.
Wow.
So it passes very, very far, which means you'll be able to develop skills so quickly.
Technically, in the film, that like, it's canon that it's like, oh yeah, it was like 10,000 days, 10 million days.
Time,
Yeah.
you'd go absolutely insane, probably long before that.
Yep.
After
You
6
would
months,
lose
probably.
Any
Before 6
value-
months, I reckon. Like, I think it happened pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, but see, trying to. Well, okay. Well, what would you rather? What would be the best day to have a Groundhog Day, and the worst day to have a Groundhog Day?
Birthday and funeral.
Oh, your birthday and the day you die.
Actually, hang on. A funeral, you're just a ghost reliving your funeral all the time, going, "Well, this sucks."
Well, maybe not your own funeral, but maybe just the day that you die, you get repetitively killed over and over again.
That's the plot of Happy
Depends on
Death
how
Day.
you die. Depends on how you die.
Well, you can choose.
Yeah, because once you've relived it, you can just choose how you die again. You can avoid it.
Yeah.
Unless
It's like
the
a
whole
cancer or a heart attack.
unless the whole destiny thing comes into this, which is in some of these shows, where even you can change what you do in that day.
Supernatural, I'll be upset.
No, this is not, I don't think, referencing Supernatural, but
Okay, good.
Then what
I've
is it
seen it somewhere.
referencing?
but I don't remember. But like, imagine there's a whole destiny element involved. Like, you can do whatever you want that day, but you're still, no matter what, going to end up at the same spot at every end of the day.
Yeah, which would leave you to either being super selfish or super selfless.
Hmm.
Because you're either like, nothing matters, it's all about me, because I'm the only one who remembers everything. Or it'll be like, I can at least give one person a very nice day.
Yeah.
But like, no, but, well, I think the worst day to have it is Christmas.
Truly?
Yes, because do you know how hard it is to fake a surprise
Yes.
and being with family?
Yes.
Live
I
that
guess.
with 10,000 years.
Worst day.
I still think like the funeral of like a dead family member would probably be worse.
Probably
yeah, because
yes.
you'd have to fake being sad, because after a while you just wouldn't care. 'cause you'd
Boring.
seen it that many times.
Boring, kick over the casket. What are you doing? Ah, I'm bored. I wanna
Eventually, you get
die.
to the point where you'd be a rebel, just like running across the streets, running into a store, and then just doing the most insane stuff for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Which should, like, temporarily would be enjoyable.
No, but-
Very temporarily. Consequence-free
Okay.
life. Emphasis
see,
on
I'm-
the temporary.
I'm way too anxious and paranoid about so many things that I'd probably just curl up in a ball and lie on my bed for like the resetting day. I probably wouldn't end up doing anything.
Yeah, well, no, but, okay, so let's just set it on, like, a school day, because then I can make it more interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you can deal with teachers and deal with their nonsense. But,
Throw teachers out of windows.
yeah,
Oh, you get straight A's. Yeah, you would.
Yeah,
But I
if it was
guess-
on the exam day.
but, yeah, you're like that, but how quickly do you think you'd be
you
able
wouldn't get the
to...
results back, would you?
No.
like, I don't know how well I'm doing,
Yeah.
but,
But you'd
So-
have more time to think about it.
I think like the longer the Groundhog period, the better it would be, of course.
So you want to stay in the Groundhog?
No, what do you mean by that?
So you're saying the longer oh, so you're saying like, okay, so it's over 2 days.
Like, yeah, 2 days or a week, or it'd be better then, because then you'd actually have time to
At the
actually influence things before
At the
it
start
all
of the
goes
new
away.
year, like about after lunch on January 1st, I was like, I had a sigh of relief because I had an actual worried thought that the year would repeat.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Wow.
So
I
realizing
never feared that the year will repeat.
I didn't until
Unless 2016. 2016, I was a bit worried that would repeat.
I'd never had the thought.
Were any of you guys concerned when in the end of 2011 when 2012 was coming around?
No, because
the Mayan calendar stuff.
No, because during 2012 I heard it.
My parents, even though it was mostly joking back then, they wanted to have an end of the world party as a joke, and they wanted to like have just a giant bonfire and like spit roast stuff over the fire, like sacrifice things.
You know, there's cults that do that. Usually they're more serious about it, but
Everyone's serious except for like Steve-O over there. It's like, another end of the year party, end of the planet party. Who bought like drinks? I bought drinks. I can do it every 3 years.
Things would be crazy.
How
if it was
quickly?
Groundhog's Day.
Yeah. How quickly would
How
you
quickly would
realize?
I think as soon as the day
Day
repeats.
2?
Actually, no,
Day
maybe
2.
day 3, because I've actually dreamt days before. Some of my dreams last a really long time. I've had a week-long dream before.
What?
I have literally, it's weird because the time is really, it's not in sync with like actual time, as in, even though you're aware of the fact that a week is passing in the dream, it's like passing quickly, like you're watching it on fast forward.
Yeah, I could see where you're coming from. I've had some.
There are
Games similar to
reported
that.
cases of people after suffering concussions having like 60, well, dreams that have lasted for 60 years. I mean, not in real time, but in the dream.
That is amazing. Except the fact you've got to live through it again.
Really wasn't for the people involved. They freaked out because there's these people like they loved truly who never actually existed.
Where are my kids? That would be
Where
a
are my
very
kids?
concerning thought.
Where is my wife? What's going on?
As soon I fell asleep and the lights came on to Batman v Superman. What? I thought the film ended and I left, but I'm still there.
That'd be like that'd be
No.
like in Inception. I'm pretty certain you guys would have seen that.
No,
Nope.
but I've seen The Simpsons do a small parody of it, and it's on my list to watch. And I've seen
Because depending
bits.
on how far down in a dream you go, time is more and more different.
I've seen the Rick and Morty episode.
Yeah, but it'd be like that, where you go out of the layers of the dream, and once you go too far down in the dream, it's so slow that when you come back out again, it's literally only been a tiny period of time, but inside the dream, it's been years.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How long do you reckon would your morality last under that circumstance?
Hmm. I'm not sure.
Mine would last quite a while because, like, I don't know. I generally think of myself as being pretty moral. But
Ben,
I
I'd
mean-
say you're more moral than most. I reckon top end about a month.
I for 2 years.
I would start experimenting maybe like after the first week, but I wouldn't do anything violent or immoral for a fair while.
I mean, I might rob banks, but
Oh come on, that's fairly immoral.
yeah, it's obvious. It's an obvious thing to do, but like my morals of more about like experimenting and whatnot. Well, So if we set this in like a school area, and if someone came up to me, if it was one of you two going, "I'm repeating the day, and I'm like, oh, you're Groundhog Daying. Okay. I would ask one of you to prove it, and if you did, I'm like, alright, then I believe you. I'd be the easiest person. And
How
I'm
could we prove it though? How could you prove to other
So,
people?
so
that
say
you're
an
a
example,
groundhog?
like it's like lunch, and then like I'm eating my lunch, and you run up to me going, "I am repeating the day." And I'm like, "So you're Groundhog Daying?" Yes. Could you prove it? That guy is gonna trip over. Whoa!
That's what happens in most of them. They start if they want to prove it to
That guy's
someone,
gonna trip
they'll
over,
go
hit
and,
a paint bucket. He's gonna comedically sit and like slapstick into the wall. Whoa! And he's gonna hit like 3 other people on the way.
You'd have to do some pretty good timing.
Yeah, but
And-
I'm assuming you would have lived at least 2 weeks, and you would know that that would happen. And any other time, if you guessed it wrong, they wouldn't believe you. And you only have 24 hours. So if you wake up at 6, you have until 6 the next day.
Or you could just not sleep.
That's
But
a little. That's
If
a
you
bit
bl-
annoying for me.
It's the same thing, but it's like you could not sleep, but if you blink, or you just hit you hit 6 again and just swaps back.
And like,
Maybe
yeah,
the
you,
only-
you could
maybe-
be awake, but you would be forced to sleep, and then you'd wake up in
Yeah.
the next day.
Yeah, maybe as soon as it hit the beginning of the next day, like right on 12 a.m., it would instantly reset the day at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that I'd only be a little bit annoyed about that I only have 24 hours to work with. If it were me and I would be stuck in Groundhog Day, I would definitely want more than 24 hours to work with.
Well, too bad. You got a deal. You have
Aw.
24 hours for 10,000 days.
I want to make an agreement with God.
Mate, listen, I've got an idea.
Look, if there's anything you want me to do, I'll do it. Can I just get maybe 48 hours? Is that alright?
I'm assuming
Can I
it.
just not be in Groundhog Day?
Aye.
Yeah, Groundhog Day would be a bad
No,
thing.
you've suffered for your crimes, you're cloning Alec.
Oh, but if I get my hive mind with clones, it wouldn't be too bad.
No,
I mean,
you're
you
not
have
getting your
all the
clones.
Aww. Aww. But
There
my clones-
would be 2 things I would want to properly do on a Groundhog Day. One is to learn everything. Let's say, like, watch every movie, learn how to play the piano, the guitar, a bunch of instruments, learn how to do some skills, and
Learn languages.
get superpowers. Everyone went silent after I said that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you would go about getting superpowers. Yeah, I would think
Radiation.
learning languages would be something I want to do.
Sure.
Just spend like a whole day just staring at someone trying to figure out the Force.
I'm just staring at someone. What are you doing? Trying to make you explode. Just have like your hand raised up. Some 4-year-old's like, Mother, he's trying to force choke that man.
Yeah, you'd learn languages, learn like different martial arts.
I'd learn everything. But in doing so, you'd become an Ubermensch. You would know everything. You would have been on every website. You would have...
Jesus Christ, that'd be a long time.
But you could do it because there's no new websites and new information. It's only 24 hours.
You'd need, yeah, you definitely need hobbies though, because of course getting bored would be.
In the film, he learns to play guitar, piano, ice sculpt,
I
rob
wouldn't do
banks
any of those.
efficiently, and anything. Like,
Yeah, learning things would be something you do. Robbing every single conceivable thing you can find.
pickpocketing would be a cool skill to learn.
I guess.
Like, it'd be like one of those things like, I can do that, and be like Spike from Cowboy Bebop. You could just do that instantly and go, wow, he's good. I'm good.
Of course, you'd only be doing that due to there's no consequences, right, Connor?
Yeah, I'm only doing it for their consequences. If there's consequences, I wouldn't do anything. Which is why I'm sitting here doing a podcast.
I'd start experimenting, and I'm sure, like, eventually things would get more and more insane with my experiments.
My experiments are more like, if I get bitten by the spider, will I get spider powers? Let's find out.
That definitely would not be my experiments.
No, at one point, if you guys wouldn't know, it's like, oh, apparently Connor's doing a Groundhog Day. Why is there a nuke heading for his house? Oh wait, no radiation. And because if I die and nothing happens, I wake up again and I don't get powers. So I'm like, well, dang, that didn't work. Alright, try to get something else. Go to the government. Hey, I keep living the same day over and over again. If you kill me, you'll repeat again. So I don't know how to do this.
I wonder what life would be like for the different worlds that you leave.
There's a theory that it's like, well, it's like a multiverse. Like, he just keeps jumping from one universe to the next. But then, that wouldn't exactly work, because in that universe, if... Like, sure, some universes would work, then some you're dead, but some, it would just... Technically, it's like, if you left the universe, you still wouldn't be there.
No, I think you would be there. You just carry out to live your life with the consequences of your actions. It's just not you who's doing it.
Yeah.
That's just...
You'd have
It's you, but it's not you.
Each universe would be, you would leave it behind for another.
But then each universe would be different, slightly.
Yes.
But then again, the slight difference would be like, that leaf has moved.
Or, Alec tried to create an empire.
I mean, that would be a scary universe. Oh no, that would be a great universe of Groundhog Day in. Because then you're literally Edge of Tomorrowing it. You're part of the rebels, you're hiding out of the bunker, you look up, the Conor clones run in, one gets shot down.
None of my clones will be shot down, they're too brilliant.
Except for the guy who's Groundhog Daying. Because you could learn every single move that an Alec makes. And you send the squadron in, they slowly each get assassinated. You won't know what's happening. Because you can't change. You're in a set motion in time.
But what if I'm the one Groundhog Daying it? What if it's one of my clones is Groundhog Daying it?
But see, I don't imagine you would be. I wouldn't be in this situation. Maybe Ben, but he's dead. He died at the revolution began. He died 5 years before it even was a conceivable thought. He was still questioning what was happening. I was still questioning what was happening. Ben had already died.
This is getting way out of whack.
Yeah, I die pretty easily.
Yeah, Ben's, you just leave him alone for a couple hours, they'll just all drop. One way or another. You know why they have, warning this product has, parts of this product may be choked on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because Ben.
A clone of Ben.
Ben has been in a Groundhog Day and he's slowly learning.
See,
Guys, I've relived this exact chat like 200 times now.
Yeah, that's why he's not laughing at my jokes, right? There's no other reason involved.
Yeah, your humor gets old pretty fast.
See, the advantage
I think it was ever new.
The advantage I have here is, if you're like, I'm at a Groundhog Day. See, if I was, I could ask, so I have 60 questions prepared.
Wow.
So, each day I could be like, well, I want to do this one instead. I've heard this answer. But how do you think you would get out of the Groundhog Day?
Well, that depends on what movie or TV show we're referencing here.
Okay, what TV shows have this? Because I kind of need to watch these shows.
No, let's reword that question. if let's say spontaneously you realized you were caught in the Groundhog Day and you wanted to try and formulate a plan to get out of that Groundhog Day, what would you do?
Be nice to everyone. That's how
nice
Bill
to
Murray did
everyone.
it.
I'd probably just. I would do lots of research. I would try and figure out what could cause it.
How did... Well, apparently in the film Groundhog Day, it was... nothing. It wasn't explained.
Be nice to everyone sounds pretty good.
Like, so going to someone and going, hey, you okay? Yeah, I'm having a good day. Well, I can make it better.
Because see,
And then hand them all
ways,
of the money that you earn.
Then handing them a
Groundhog Day had
cloning
to be
machine.
nice to everyone. In the movie, or the Edge of Tomorrow movie, you had to get a blood transplant.
Was that
and-
it?
Yeah.
Really?
And then in Supernatural, it was the Archangel Gabriel. They had to kill him, basically. Well, actually, no, they made a deal with him.
Okay.
But
Two very
it's all
different
different
things.
ways depending on.
In Happy Death Day, the film I never saw, but I had 1 hour review of it, I think she had to find who the killer was, which is really easy to do. They just drawed it out for like an hour and a half film.
Yeah.
Cause like, I'm the killer, rape off the mask, it's you! There. Next day, okay, well now I know who it is.
Yeah, actually,
Like, in that film, it was
maybe
to not
at
die.
first, but eventually having the a Happy Death Day sort of thing would be good because it'd actually have something that you have to do, and there'd be something that's tense.
Yeah, but like, in the Groundhog Day film, it's also, it makes sense. He was just the worst person, and now he's the nice person.
Yeah.
Who
It's a
has
very
thousands
typical
of years of
plotline.
skills.
Yeah, you would be a god if you broke out.
In, like, the 6th time we see Bill Murray, he's like, am I God? Am I a god? How is this happening?
No, you'd have let's say that you were in Groundhog Day for 20
10,000
years.
days.
20 years.
20 years, alright then.
And then you managed to break out of it through like any reason. Let's say it was just random chance. 2 things would be apparent. 1, you would be absolutely barking mad. 2nd, you would be such a god.
I would never have to catch up on a film. Ever. Because I would have
Yeah.
seen everything. Up until this point.
Well, for the rest of your life, you'd be a total genius. I'd put it.
Yeah, you would be an absolute genius, but you'd
You'd be-
also...
You'd be a totally like mental genius, but
Yeah,
A genius, at least, yeah.
your lack of morality and
you'd probably end up like
consequences-
Sherlock. You'd be like
a sociopath.
Yeah, you would be a high-functioning sociopath. You'd be really smart, but lack all moral like stuff.
Also, in addition to that, you'd lack any form of consequence. You would forget that your actions have serious real-world consequences.
Yeah.
So you'd just be completely impulsive, sociopathic maniac, and a genius, which really doesn't bode well. You would be
Yeah,
a
you
bad
would be
guy.
Sherlock. That's effectively what Sherlock is.
Yeah.
You
I
would
don't
be
wanna
more
be
evil
British.
than Sherlock, though. I
Yeah.
haven't seen a lot of Sherlock, but you would.
He's definitely not evil, but he
He just has no
lacks-
morals.
Yeah, he has no morals, basically.
Sure, he solves crimes, but he's like, oh, dead body.
He does that
Alright.
because he enjoys it, not because he's doing it for other people.
I feel like he only does it to show off that he's super smart.
Yeah, that as well. He likes to show off. But a lot of it's just because he's
I reckon, like, the situation would be, like, you'd accidentally, horribly, brutally murder someone, and then go to jail, and then live out the rest of your life in
Yeah.
prison.
I wouldn't do that, though.
You would be
In
a
my
high-functioning sociopath in prison.
I'm putting faith in myself that I wouldn't do that in my 20 years.
I wouldn't be so sure about myself.
Unless
I'd
it's
probably
against
go mental.
clones.
Excuse me, my clones are people.
You're
have
living out the film Attack of the
feelings.
Clones, but you're the bad guys.
I'm not a bad guy. My imperialism is a good thing for the world. I'm convinced.
The rebels will stop you.
But as I was going back to before, I think my morality is completely unquestionable.
Mm.
No one got that, did they? All right.
I hope my morals will be intact after 20 years.
In 20 years, I reckon I probably would have cracked.
I would have read every book, I would have seen every movie, I would know how to fly a plane, how to die
Your inability to
least.
have any form of consequence, and yeah, you would. I think anyone in that 20 years time, like borderline anyone, would have done something completely illegal,
Yeah.
like a large felony.
Yeah, like just and don't get grumpy about this, but using Supernatural as an example,
Okay.
the character who's in the loop, which is Sam, he's in the loop for I think it's 150 times.
That's
He lived that
nothing.
day.
Yeah, that's not a hell of a lot.
Yeah, but even then, he starts to go borderline crazy by the end of it.
But,
Yeah, you definitely would.
You'll go you may go crazy and then go back to normal by the end of
Yeah,
the 10 seconds.
he does recover after like a week out of the loop.
But that's only but that's 105 days. You recover a week out of the loop. But you might be able to recover during the loop.
I don't think you'd recover in the loop.
No, you might if you had the time.
Psychologically speaking, no. The lack of consequences would, and the insanity of the situation that you're in, and like you would inevitably like harm someone.
Yeah.
Probably.
And
We do not. There
you
is
have
no
no
sequel to Groundhog Day. Assumingly, at the end of the film, when he's like, "It's the next day. Give me the gun." What do you mean? I'm killing the groundhog. I'm assuming that's how that film. That's like afterwards. What happened?
It would be
It's like
brutal.
like the townmate is like he wakes up in the morning, sees Bill Murray with like a shotgun, up with the way where the groundhog just.
Yeah, I think inevitably, maybe depending on who you are, you might be able to recover, but 20 years is a long time to ingrain the feeling of I'm a god, my actions have no consequences.
Yeah, like
And like even was it you said in Supernatural, was it like a 150-day period? You probably wouldn't even be able to recover from that in a week.
Yeah, well, keep in mind this guy has this main character. He's pretty mentally strong at this point in the show.
Isn't Supernatural the show where they meet angels and they're like, wait, we've been fighting devils.
Their job, and it has been for their entire life, even when they were kids, is to go and.
But when they were
exorcise
kids, it was more like
demons.
Scooby Doo, and then when they got older, it's more like Constantine. So
Yeah,
Well,
and
that's more in the realm of fantasy, so I don't think it's really applicable in the real.
yeah, no, that's a good point. But yeah, because of all that stuff he'd experienced throughout his life, he's a bit more mentally strong and capable to deal with that. But he was still struggling.
yeah,
20 years would drive you mental. I think 10 years would also drive you mental.
what would be a good time to get out of the Groundhog Day?
After you've maybe spent months.
I would
online
say
therapy.
1 month. 1 month, because you can learn a couple skills, watch a bunch of movies, and just still fine. It's like, that was a weird point of 2018.
Well, would you have a choice over where the Groundhog Day ends? Would you be able to, like, strategically say, alright, okay, I'm gonna have this done on this day, this done on this day, this done on the next day, and then, okay, now I shall leave the ground?
Yeah.
Or is it just gonna be like a random withdrawal?
Like, I think my thing would be like, alright, okay, so today what I'm gonna do is have breakfast, watch a movie. Alright, then after that movie is done, I am going to I'm gonna be nice to everyone. I'm nice to everyone, and then eventually, over that month, I would have at least watched at least 30 movies. Probably wouldn't have launched an instrument in that time, but that's fine. And any skills, but I'm like, I've seen movies. A lot.
Or maybe even, like, on a smaller scale, you just want to have a day repeated in one day, knowing that all of the mistakes that you made you can fix. Like, let's say you screwed up a joke to someone, you said the wrong line, you messed up, let's say you
gave Alec a cloning machine.
gave Alec a cloning machine, then you learned very quickly how that was going to end. And then you can just keep the cloning machine well away from Alec so he can't touch it.
Give it to Ben.
Don't give it to Ben, that's killing him.
Well,
Don't keep the cloning machine just away from everyone else.
clone myself. He can suffer the Groundhog Day. I don't need to suffer it.
So yeah, you just on a small scale, you just want to just fix your mistakes.
I will have a superpower by the end of that, I feel. Eventually, I would get a superpower.
Or
Alright.
if you could turn the Groundhog Day on and off again.
But what if I could turn on the Groundhog Day to someone else?
You wouldn't want that.
But
you
I
really
would.
wouldn't want that. It would be scary, and unless it's me, in which case, you know, pass it over here for like a day or two, and I'll take that.
I'm
That'd
assuming
be
I could.
absolutely
I'm assuming I would also
okay.
be living the same Groundhog Day because that way I could turn it off. Otherwise, that would make no sense.
You'd want to be able to turn it off and on again. Then you could just like do it for a day.
So like a
Fix it.
dial, like if I have like this like kitchen cookers, like, alright, I'm gonna dial it to 50 years. Deal.
Maybe we should wrap this video up soon, because it's
Yeah.
been on for quite a while.
Oh yeah, alright. So where can people find you?
Ban the stupid video police.
Well, I'm on YouTube at youtube.com/The Academy of Geekery, or you can just search for me, and Twitter at BenFromTorg. What about you
I
guys?
don't want anyone to find me. I have no way to contact me. You shall not contact
You can find me on Twitter at goddamn robots without the N because that was taken. Yeah.